It's the time of year for winter comfort food. Welcome back to Daphne Dishes again. I want to make a nice slow-cooked beef stew, but I'm a little tired of my regular go-to Irish stew. So this one's gonna have a bit of an Italian flavor.
Doesn't quite look like Irish stew. No, because it's based on brissato, Italian flavor. We're gonna add sage, rosemary, juniper berries, cloves, bay leaves, and the classic onion, celery, and carrots. Now, let me say something about juniper berries. My late husband, Chef Mark Peel, used them in some recipes. They're really delicious. I got this from Backyard Forager website. This is what makes gin. It has kind of a rosemary flavor. It's technically a cone. They are said to have some medicinal properties as well, although I'm not making that part of the recipe per se. But I think all the spices are going to give this meat dish a special flavor. And I upgraded the meat I'm using. Now with brissato, usually it's like a whole roast that then you slice. But since my original thought was a traditional beef stew, I went to Sprouts and actually got a good butcher who cut up the meat for me, because being a butcher is not my forte. And I've made the mistake of using a rump roast before, which I didn't like that for this stew meat. It wasn't as tender as I wanted. So I got a chuck roast. So I've got chunks of chuck for this. But if you're making a classic brissato, it would be a roast that you slice. Here with my chunks of chuck, I'm gonna put in a slice of whole onion, chopped up carrots and celery. This is all pretty easy. You just gotta do it the night before you're gonna eat it. Some rosemary from my garden, some sage from my garden. And here's the special juniper berries and cloves. A couple bay leaves from my front yard. And the better part of a bottle of red wine. Now, don't spend a bunch of money on red wine. This is inexpensive red wine. This is what we used to use in our restaurants, and it works just fine. Make sure all that beef is covered. Put it in the fridge for the night. Buongiorno. Morning time to cook. So then just pour all of that marinade, all the vegetables, all the beef in a pan. If you had a big roast, it would take about an hour. This didn't. This took, I don't know, about 35 minutes. Fed my chickens, did a few morning chores while it cooked, and then boom, look, perfect. Now, if we were doing an Irish stew, well, first of all, we'd have red wine in it, but we would stop right here. But we're going next level. So take the meat out. We're also going to need to do a little filtration to get rid of the cloves and the juniper berries for our next step. Oop, strainer accident. Yeah, I think I got a bay leaf or two to grab there. Yep, okay. Let's get them out. Now that we've evacuated, we're going to add in some more fresh rosemary and some fresh sage. Just layering the flavors. You could use a blender or food processor, but I like to use the immersion blender for this. And yes, I have my old Clinton 1992 sweatshirt that a guy I worked with in radio got me years ago. It was a cold morning. It's a very warm sweatshirt because, you know, it's pretty cold in January in DC. So I blended this for about 2 minutes. And at this point, it kind of looks like a lentil soup, but it is so flavorful. All that melange of flavors. And this would have been a great dish to do when my kids were younger and they didn't want to eat their vegetables. You kind of can fool them. A little pat of butter and some olive oil in a warm pan, hot pan. I'm going to put the beef back in there. Quickly kind of warm it up. Never hurts to have some butter and olive oil involved. Now pour in the pureed vegetables. Just let that warm up again, and then you would serve it. You would serve it with some polenta, potatoes. Polenta, of course, would be classic Northern Italian, which is where this dish is from. But some Americans might want some potatoes. In any case, it tastes good, smells great. You can refrigerate it, you can freeze it. And that red wine and the spices really permeated the meat. Enjoy and stay warm and cozy.